We did it last week. We're back with it this week. The year is halfway done, January through June. Who's been the best in the first half of the year? And today's list is the top 10 men of the year so far. We start with number 10, AJ Francis. Yes. The former top dollar has really been truly on a roll since coming to TNA. He is the current digital media champion and has been a very, very good bright spot on TNA. And alongside Rich Swann as the tag team top class, they've been good, man. AJ has found his niche. He has found his spot. And believe it or not, he can get even further. He can get even higher. Don't sleep on him. Number 8, Chad Gable. Yes, the master. Even though he's lost more than he's won, he has been at the forefront of top WWE storylines this year, from his epic feud with Gunther to training Sami Zayn to defeat Gunther to the Money in the Bank. There's been a lot of things that Chad Gable has done, and it's not stopping. When his contract was coming up to an end, we thought, maybe he would stay, maybe he would leave, but no, he re-signed, which means they have something in store for him. Chad Gable is going to really, I think, end the year on a strong note, because the beginning of this year, even though there were some L's, was really, really good. Number 8, Trick Williams. This guy has been absolutely carrying the brand of NXT after topping his demon, getting that demon off his back, and his former tag team partner, best friend Carmelo Hayes. The former NXT champion has really built up a strong following in NXT. He is over with the crowd. He is great in the locker room. And even though I think he can use a little bit more work, he has done a very, very fine job of carrying that brand. Trick Williams is the definition of when you believe in someone and you believe in yourself, you can get them over, you can get the crowd behind them, you can build a star. Trick Williams is not going anywhere. And I think that everything he does in NXT will hopefully translate to the main roster whenever he eventually gets called up. And number 7, Cody Rhodes. Now, yes, you think that the current WWE champion will be higher on this list, but let me get there. Cody has won the Royal Rumble for the second time, back-to-back, defeated Roman Reigns at WrestleMania to win the World Championships, plural, and started a really, really epic feud with The Rock. Cody has been great. Yes, his reign has been somewhat lackluster, but the matches have been there. Cody is knocking out of the park, and this is everything that he's worked for, that he has earned, and he has been a very good bright spot on the WWE roster this year. Number 6, Obi Film. Yeah, this dude, who was still greener than baby doo-doo, is an absolute hoss. And he is the current NXT North American champion. He has surprised many. He has put the title on the line. And even though he is still young in the ring, he has put on some very, very fine matches. The company clearly sees something in him. They clearly see something that is special about Obi Film. And after watching him go for the first half of this year, I get it now. Obi Film will be here for the long haul, and I'm really, really not mad at it. Number 5, Moose. Yes, the current TNA World Champion and leader of the system. The man just wins. Moose, honestly, is almost in a class and a league of his own when it comes to the top men in TNA. There are very few that can really be on his level right now. Moose has really become a mainstay of TNA, and I am very much looking forward to see if he crossed the line and goes to NXT and puts some work in there. Moose is smart, he is dominant, and he is good. It is no surprise, it is no wonder that he is in a league almost by himself, and with the system backing him, I can't see Moose going anywhere but up. Number 4, Drew McIntyre, the ultimate hater, the top hater in probably all of professional wrestling, has been nothing short of magnificent. This guy has pivoted into such a great tweener role that I have no choice but to get behind him, because he's speaking nothing but facts. I don't think he's delusional. I think ultimately Drew saw something amazing and ran with it. He not only defeated Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, won the World Championship, he got cashed in on, but he seriously by himself has elevated this one-sided feud with CM Punk, and I want to see nothing more than CM Punk get his just desserts. Drew McIntyre has elevated himself on the mic, he has elevated himself in the ring, he has elevated himself, period. And this role as the ultimate hater is so good, it's so enjoyable, and it's so entertaining. I cannot wait to see what the second half of the year brings for Drew McIntyre. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Now, you knew he was going to be high on this list, but Will is something special. The current international champion was going to win a title sooner or later, and yes, I believe he's won too many matches, but he brings it each and every time. The man, I think, is incapable of having a bad match, and there are those naysayers, the detractors that say, you know, AEW doesn't tell stories, and now they're telling a very, very beautiful one that all stemmed from Will Ospreay's match versus Bryan Danielson, and he conveys so much emotion on his face alone. Like, you can't tell him wrestling isn't real. It's great. Will Ospreay is climbing the hierarchy of professional wrestling more and more each and every day, and AEW's not going anywhere, and as long as they're here, as long as New Japan is here, Ospreay isn't going anywhere either. Number 2, Damian Priest. The man has been a champion for pretty much the entirety of the year. He came into the year as tag team champion alongside Finn Balor. He then lost that championship at WrestleMania, but remember, he had won the 2023 Money in the Bank contract, and he cashed in at WrestleMania and ended WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion, and he's been defending that championship, and he's grown in confidence. He believes in himself. I believe in him. He's starting to get a nice little following. Damian Priest has been great this year. He really has. The Judgment Day behind him, the feuds with Seth and occasionally Punk and a few others has really put Damian Priest on the map. And this is what happens when you win the Money to Bring PK. This is what's supposed to happen. Damian Priest has been a really, really bright light on this year. And of course, number 1, whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland, our current AEW World Champion, is second to none. You need to see the climb, the elevation that has happened with this man's career. I'll give you an example. Forbidden Door, 2023 Forbidden Door, he was on the pre-show. The following year, he was main eventing card defending the championship, the World Championship. That's the kind of role that Swerve has been on, period. Winning the title from Samoa Joe, who helped pass the torch, who helped guide Swerve along. Swerve has been a veteran in this business, but when you're in the ring and you're in a feud with someone like Joe, you elevate yourself. And Joe knows his business. And Joe's like, this is the guy right here. Tony Khan said, this is the guy right here. And Swerve has been awesome. He brings a certain je ne sais quoi swag demeanor with him that you can't just make it. You just have it. And that's what Swerve has. It's period. Our current world champion, I don't know what's next for him, but I do know that the year he's had so far, putting in quality matches, quality feuds, and carrying that AEW banner, it has worked for him. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Who should be on the list? Who shouldn't be on the list? Who, should the rankings be switched? Let me know. But come back later this week. All right, folks, we did the tag teams, and now we move on to the top best factions of the year so far. And this list was actually much easier to make than what I thought. But we'll begin with number 8, and that will be the Don Callis family. Yes, the group has suffered a couple injuries, especially losing Powerhouse House, but they've been able to recoup. And the team of, formerly Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, Trent Beretta, and the Alpha Tenosuke Takeshita have just worked. It's a marriage out of convenience, and they're always recruiting new members. I like this group. Losing Will Ospreay will probably hurt them in the long run, but if you recover with the recruitment of Roosh and building Trent Beretta back up, building up Takeshita to finally get that big W that he's earned, the group can once again look dominant. Number 7, the Learning Tree. This group, this team kind of just happened, and it happened because once again Jericho was getting hates. Jericho was getting hated on for whatever reason, and being the genius that he is, Chris Jericho took that hate, flipped it on his head, and turned it into the Learning Tree. First recruiting, he didn't even recruit. Big Bill came to him saying he wanted to be a part of the Learning Tree. Now he's the Redwood. And then the off the wall, out of the blue recruitment of Brian Keith, the bounty hunter, as the Bad Apple, just works. And what is the group about? Well, it's essentially whatever it was about. Chris Jericho, respecting Chris Jericho, but this time he's playing on the boomer tropes, and he's been knocking it out of the park on social media. The Learning Tree, I hope, doesn't go away for a very long time. The sets, the quotes, everything. He's been able to take something that was supposed to be a negative and turn it into a positive. Number 6, the Blackpool Combat Club. Yes, the BCC are usually somewhere on this list. And what can I say? They get W's. They are, in my opinion, the final bosses of professional wrestling. Will Yuta has returned from his injury, and he's still the pure champion. Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, John Moxley, who was just the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. They're the group. They're the group you do not want to run into, period, because they will whoop your ass, and they've been kicking ass all year. Number 5, Bullet Club Gold, aka the Bang Bang Gang, winning the Trios Championships from the Acclaim and unifying them, returning Juice Robinson to his proper glory. The Bang Bang Gang have been nothing short of awesome. They have been hilarious. They have been funny. They have been putting in some great work, and it's never a dull moment when they're on screen. Who can forget just recently Jay White just ripping Christian Cage apart on the mic backstage. The best part about this group is they know where their roles are. They know how to keep you entertained while also being menacing, while also being destructive, but also being entertaining. They could go so far, if we just flip-flop a few things, I could see them holding all of the gold. Tag team, one of the mid-card titles in the in the international or the continental or the TNT and the world title. Like, this group is consisting of great guys that put in great work. Number 4, the Bloodline. Yeah, the Bloodline is back. They are back on top. They are back to dominance after dominating pretty much for all of last year, the year before that. They took some hiccups this year, especially with losing Jey Uso, and then coming down to just Jimmy Solo and Roman, then Roman losing the championship. But they have brought themselves back up to prominence and to dominance, and I am terrified of what this version of the Bloodline can do. Solo, Tama, Jacob, Tonga Loyola. Like, this is a great group of just hitters and killers, and the storyline has been long, but it has worked, and they are finding ways to keep it going. Number 3, the Elite. Come on, man. They could almost be number 1. Almost. Adding Okada, adding Jack Perry, the Young Bucks have reinvigorated the Elite. Their EVP gimmicks are absolutely fantastic, and they are really, really showing that no matter what kind of work you give them, they have been able to sustain it. The feud right now versus AEW and Tony Khan has led to some interesting choices, has led to a lot of people stepping in and out of the storyline, weaving these things together, making the world of wrestling look big. Not it being just single stories, but the Elite now hold a lot of the gold, and that's not changing. And the best part is they can put on great matches and they can tell great stories, and they've been killing it. With the one hiccup of losing to Sting, the Elite have been absolutely perfect and flawless. But you know who's been above them? Number 2, the System. They are winning. Coming together first because, it's like, well, I need some help. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. And here we have the System. And I love that they have the gold now. I love their catchphrase, and you can't beat the System. And right now, it looks like no one can beat the System. They are just doing it. They are dominating TNA, and they face so many people, and they've pushed them all back. So what's next for the System? Well, you keep winning, and you keep winning matches, and you keep holding on to your goal, because that's what they've been doing all year long. And number 1, the Judgment Day. Now, this could have gone between the Judgment Day, between the Elite, between the System, but with the Judgment Day, they've pretty much been the top faction in wrestling ever since, I'd probably say, since Jay left the Bloodline, because they've held gold. They were the tag team champions for a long time, and they just got them back. They had singles gold with Rhea Ripley dominating, and she just lost that championship, and that was because she got hurt, not because she got pinned. And now Damian Priest is the world heavyweight champion. Like, I find it funny how it started out as a bunch of mythical BS, and then they just turned it around, and now they're working. Now, yes, they have comedy in there, especially with Dom and with JD, but Carlito and Finn have been really flexing their chops, and Damian Priest has been great as the world heavyweight champion. I like this team, and with Mommy there, they are always a threat, because she has no problem throwing down with the men or women. The Judgment Day sit atop the faction mountain right down in professional wrestling. So who can stop them? Who can take them out? But that is the list. Come back next week for a couple other lists. Let me know who you think should have been on this list. Maybe who shouldn't have been on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace. We did it for the men. Now we got to do it for the women. The year is halfway through, and we got to know who's on top. Who has been killing it for the first half of the year? January through June, these women have really been putting in some of the best work of their careers. And we start with number 10, Alicia Edwards, one half of the women's tag team champions in TNA, the Knockouts tag team champions, joining up with the system alongside her husband has been a game changer for Alicia Edwards. She has been getting more and more wins. She has been featured more and more on television, and now she is a tag team champion, sharing that title, the titles, with Masha Slamovich, and that's a badass right there, Masha Slamovich. Alicia has really opened up many eyes, and I attribute a lot of that to being put into the system. Sometimes it's all you need is to be a part of a faction, part of a group, so your bright light can shine through. Number 9, Billy Starks. Come on, man. I was there when Billy won and became the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's Television champion, and everything leading up to that was a stroke of genius, was masterclass. Losing to Athena when you thought Athena was going to lose awakened something in Billy. It opened up her third eye, so to speak, and she has been killing it alongside her mentor. Billy Starks has been winning match after match after match, and now she, alongside Athena, have essentially been carrying the Ring of Honor brand. They are the biggest bright spots on that brand, and with Billy Starks being so young, she can only go up. The sky is the limit, and she's the future of this business. Number 8, Bayley. Now, yes, I know I want to put Bayley higher, but she's been good this year, winning the Royal Rumble, taking out her former teammates in Damage Control, and winning the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Bayley is a mainstay in women's wrestling. She's a mainstay in the women's division. She is someone that you can count on each and every time. Great in the ring, getting better and better and better on the mic, even though she's been in this business for quite a bit now. She is reliable. She is Bayley. She is the role model. She is someone you can count on time in and time after time after time. It was exciting to see her win the Rumble and to put on that banger of a match with Io Sky at WrestleMania. Let's see what's next for the role model. Number 7, Mariah May. Now, yes, this list was made before Mariah won the Owen Cup, but since joining AEW, since aligning herself with Toni Storm, she has risen, starting over in Stardom, and now we see what the fuss was about. Mariah May is good, and she's only 25. Mariah May isn't going anywhere. She is putting it all together each and every week. I can't really argue with that. She is fun, and even though this goes up to June, this list, we really know what's in store for Mariah May. Number 6, Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, has come over to AEW with very, very, very large fanfare, and her and Willow put on a banger, and her and Stephanie put on a banger, and now she is your TBS champion. She is your New Japan Strong Women's champion. She has finally found her groove, and she is healthy, and she has shown what we should know, what I know. She is that good in the ring. She is that good. She knows what to do. She knows this business. Mercedes Moné is top tier, and there's not many that can go toe to toe with her. Number 5, Roxanne Perez, the Pop Rocks, the Prodigy, the women's champion of NXT. She is, for all intents and purposes, perfect. She's the women's champion for a reason, and I don't see her losing that championship anytime soon. They trust her so much. Remember, she's not even 22, 23. And they put her in feuds. They put her with people that she can guide along in a match. She's so young, but she's already has a veteran presence in this business, in this company, because she's that good in the ring. Now, I thought she would have been called up alongside Tiffany Stratton, but I see why they kept her in NXT, because even though they have a lot of women there, Roxanne, you can trust her in the ring because she's that good, and she's the women's champion, and she's not losing that belt. She's just good. I don't know how else to put it. She's just good. And not only that, when a challenger came across from another company, she beat them. And who was that challenger? Number 4, Jordan Grace, the current TNA Knockouts champion, is another person that almost stands alone. A powerhouse in this business, someone you can also rely on. She crossed the line and faced Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship, and then she's taking challengers from NXT. Jordan Grace, in my opinion, has taken on that new role of what Deonna Purrazzo was in TNA, in that she is on top. She has nothing left to prove, and she's everything and more, and she's reliable. You can count on her, and you can be scared of her. You can also enjoy her, because Jordan Grace is she's just very good. I don't know how else to really put it. She's just very good. Will she lose the championship at some point? Probably, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Number 3, Timeless Toni Storm, our current AEW Women's Champion. Yes, is a quote-unquote face now. That's because she has been super popular, and she has been really killing it as the champion. This gimmick, this All About Eve storyline, has honestly taken Mariah May and Toni Storm to another level. Toni has really immersed herself in this gimmick and has worked beautifully, has worked perfectly. She is just killing it right now. The promo she cuts, the way she transitions everything into the ring, it just works, and she's beating everybody. Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, other challengers. Who can stop her? Number 2, Liv Morgan. Now, Liv is this high because of how she ended that second half. Yes, I have Liv in this list over Rhea Ripley. That's because Rhea has been great, but Liv has benefited so much from Rhea's injury and putting her out. Liv pushed the limit in the Royal Rumble, kept herself in the forefront, and now she's just the face of Raw. She's taken out Becky Lynch, she took out Rhea Ripley, and she's the women's champion, and she is just better all for it. Like, didn't really know she had this in her, but if you saw what she was doing on SmackDown a year or two ago when she was doing that new Queen of Extreme gimmick, there was something there that she unlocked, and she has transitioned it to a top road to the top spot on the women's division on Monday Night Raw. And number 1, Willow Nightingale, baby. Smile because nothing matters, which is a little crazy, but Willow, oh man, I can't help but rant and rave and love this woman. Feuds with Mercedes, her feud with Chris Statlander, going to other companies, winning matches, winning championships. Willow is experiencing a new heights, a new role on her career. She's got the backing of the fans. She's got the backing of the company. You know, the most important part is you can trust her in the ring, and she puts on great matches. Willow Nightingale, even though she's currently not a champion, she's exploded into the stratosphere of professional wrestling, and that's all you can really ask for, to see that growth, to see that determination, to see that domination. That is Willow Nightingale. But let me know what you guys think. who is missing. I know who is missing, but let me know who should be on this list, who should be on this list. Reworking, y'all let me know. But the year is halfway done, and when you do these type of lists, you really have to wait until June is done, because when you do this list, there's usually a match that comes after. But ladies and gentlemen, this right here are the best matches of the year so far. We start with number 10, Gunther versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I originally thought that this would be Gunther versus Chad Gable, but his story took a different direction. But right here, we got what makes Sami Zayn so great, and we saw why once again Gunther is just on another level. The story here was that Sami couldn't get the job done, so Gable trained him to get the job done, and Sami got the job done. Gunther had faced many a challenge before, but Sami Zayn was a different beast unto himself. Gunther threw everything and the kitchen sink at Sami, but Sami would not go away. The fighting spirit of Sami Zayn is very, very special. It allows him to reach another plateau, and he used that fighting spirit to overcome Gunther and become the Intercontinental Champion. Number 9, Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship at Double or Nothing. Needless to say, if you guys don't know, I love both of these women. I love Mercedes, I love Willow, and I was very much looking forward to this match. This match stemmed from the New Japan Strong inaugural Women's Championship tournament, which Willow won, defeating Mercedes, who got injured in that main event. And this feud allowed something special to happen. It allowed Mercedes to get back into her comfort zone and show that she's that good in the ring, but it also allowed Willow to also get out of her comfort zone, to grow more, to get better on the mic, because Willow was throwing shots, throwing barbs, and she was backing it up. We saw the growth of a young talent who was the future of this business, and we saw the return of one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. I could see these two fight again and again and again. The match was so good. Willow used her power to overcome Mercedes, whereas Mercedes used that speed and technical advantage to overcome Willow. So it was a matter of what's going to break first. But in the end, Mercedes was able to win that TBS championship, and at the end showed a lot of love and respect to Willow, and I can't wait to see these two do it again. Number 8, Will Ospreay versus Josh Alexander on Impact Wrestling. This was a rematch of a random match they just had in 2023, and if you don't know who Josh Alexander is, you should know by now. These two put on an absolute classic. This was a masterpiece in what it means to be a professional wrestler. The strength of Alexander is very, very much underrated and understated about how strong he is. So Ospreay, who has fought bigger opponents and stronger opponents, I don't think he really ever fought someone as strong as Josh Alexander, but Ospreay was on that roll moving towards AEW, so he had to knock this one off of his list, and this was a rematch that is well worth seeing. The counters, the speed, the in-ring storytelling is just something that is very, very special. In the end, we're all winners from this match. Number 7, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. For me personally, the winner was never in doubt. It was about Becky Lynch trying to overcome Rhea, who was just a beast. Rhea's reign had reached a year at this point, and mind you, Rhea was wrestling injured in this match, so she had a lot to overcome. Becky, we know big time Bex. We know the man. She can win it. She can do it all. But it was something about Rhea that she could not stop. Rhea was a freight train coming through the women's division. And as much as Becky tried, Rhea fought back. Rhea fought hard because she had not really faced an opponent like Becky who could counter everything, who could get into her head. And as much as Becky tried, Rhea just overpowered her, overcame her. Finished her off with a Riptide 1, 2, 3. Rhea retains that Women's World Championship in a very, very fantastic match. Number 6, Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. This was a rematch of their Forbidden Door match from the previous year where Danielson got hurt. But here we are with another dream match. Danielson on that quote-unquote retirement tour. But ladies and gentlemen, go and watch this match. Once again, you see why Okada is one of the best in the business, and you see why Bryan Danielson is probably the GOAT. These two put on an absolute banger, an absolute classic of a match, and Okada got that W because what's Okada losing at Wrestle Kingdom? I could definitely see a third match for these two, whether it be in AEW, whether it be at Wrestle Dynasty, but these two are just in a league of their own. Go and watch this match. Number 5, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. This was the culmination of a 2-year story, finishing the story, finishing Roman's story, finishing Cody's story, and with the introduction of The Rock, this story reached a different level. Cody became a back-to-back Royal Rumble winner, something that's only been done a minute number of times. And after losing the previous tag match against The Rock and Roman Reigns, this match was contested under Bloodline rules. So Cody had to fight from behind, but with a little help from main event Jey Uso, with a little help from John Cena, and a special appearance, not by Stone Cold, but by The Undertaker. Cody was able to overcome the Bloodline and defeat Roman Reigns to not only finish his story, but start a new one. Roman, for his part, was absolutely fantastic here. Even though you've seen one Roman match, you've seen them all, so you know you get to wait till the end for things to pick up. He still did the job well enough. Number 4, Bayley versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. This match is very, very underrated. In my honest opinion, this was the best match of WrestleMania weekend. I'm sorry, it just was. I know how good Io Sky is. I don't think a lot of people knew just how good Io Sky was. We all have seen Bayley because Bayley's been in the forefront for such a long time, but this match right here showed everybody why Io Sky is one of, if not the best women's wrestler on the planet. She had an answer and a counter for every single thing that Bayley could throw at her. When Bayley went for the Rose Plant and Io just flipped out of it, I'm like, that's Io Sky. That's Io Sky. That is the genius of the ring, of the sky. And Bayley had won the Royal Rumble, so she was trying to finish her story as her group, the group that she started, turned on her. A very underrated and understated match that really opened up a lot of people's eyes and, in my opinion, stole the show. Bayley was finally able to win to finish her story and become the WWE Women's Champion. Number 3, Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson from Dynasty. Look, Danielson is on that tour, all right, and he's just out here putting on banger after banger after banger. Sorry, Sheamus, had to take your line for a quick minute. And come on, man, Will Ospreay might be the best in the world right now because he's on this list multiple times. But Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson just showed you what it means to have a perfect match, to have the counters, the speed, the story, the technique. And the best part about this was it gave Will Ospreay a new character as Ospreay hit the Tiger Driver and we got that injury angle with Bryan Danielson. And Bryan Danielson is very, very good at these goddamn injury angles. I never know if he's hurt. I never know if he's healthy. But now put this doubt that crept into Will Ospreay's mind. But in the end, he was able to win. And this is a match I could see one more time before Danielson calls it quits, because it was so good. And that's what you expect from Will Ospreay. That is what you expect from Bryan Danielson. Number 2, Sting's last match. Perfect. perfect. If number one hadn't taken place, this would be number one. Sting was calling it quits. He and Darby Allin were the AEW World Tag Team Champions, defending against the perfect opponents for them and the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks and their EVP characters wanted to retire Sting, and not only that, take the tag team championships away from them. And even though a lot of us wanted Sting's last match to be against Darby Allin, Sting said that would never happen. So you have him and the young man that he mentored, that he trained, that he helped elevate and turn to a bona fide star. You helped elevate him. The Young Bucks were perfect opponents for Sting and Darby Allin. This match was contested under no rules. We had the pomp and circumstance of Sting's sons coming up dressed like Sting from his previous eras, getting involved in the match, the pre-match video. Everything about this was so perfect. And yes, Darby Allin probably died during this match, but it's okay because we do it for the legend, the Stinger, the icon. This was so great, and I wish every legend that wanted to have their one final match got a call off, got a send off, just like this. And number one, Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship at Forbidden Door. Yeah, I'm trying not to have any recency bias because this match just took place, but Lord, was it absolutely fantastic. Everything about this was immaculate. Swerve telling Ospreay, you're not taking this seriously. You got your hand in too many pots. Ospreay finally getting the thought in his mind like, oh man, he's probably right. And the crescendo to this match. There's a beautiful sequence in this match where they're going kick for kick, counter for counter, and then Ospreay hits a random Styles Clash. Swerve kicks out. Ospreay goes for the Os Cutter. Swerve anticipates that and hits a Swerve Stomp. Like, everything about this match was so good. And if you thought that Swerve was nothing more than a transitional champion just to get the belt onto Ospreay, you were wrong, because he showed why he is the champion. He showed why he is Swerve Strickland, and that it is his house. What more do we need to say about Will Ospreay? The man is wrestling on another level right now. The hidden blade that he hits, Lord, but the hidden blade that Swerve hit, my God, this was such an awesome match. But the real question is, will it stay number one? Will it remain in the top 10 when we do the full year? But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Is there a match that I missed? Is there something that you think should be in the top 10? Is there something you think shouldn't be in here? You let me know. We've been here before the year is halfway done, and we're going to end it off the midway points with something special. We have right here the top pay-per-views of the year so far. And we start with number 10, TNA No Surrender 2024. This took place in Westwego, Louisiana. This was a solid card, ending with the X Division Championship match with the debut of Mustafa Ali defeating Chris Sabin. Chris was on a roll as X Division champion, and his tag team partner had just come off of a really good reign as the TNA World Champion. This match also featured some really high quality matches. The TNA World Tag Team title match ended with the best of 3 series between ABC and the Grizzled Young Veterans, and of course we had the TNA World title match between Moose and Alex Shelley and a no surrender rules match. This was a solid show. Number 9, TNA Hard to Kill. This took place at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. And again, TNA topped itself with just a really solid card. Taking place before No Surrender, Hard to Kill saw Moose defeat Alex Shelley for the TNA World Championship. It saw Jordan Grace defeat Trinity on her way out to become the new Knockouts champion, and it saw ABC retain their tag team championships in a really good fatal 4-way match. It also featured an excellent triple threat match between Chris Sabin, Aldi Hill, Del Vikingo, and Kushida for the TNA X Division Championship. TNA can be higher they can be hired. Something's got to give where they can really top themselves with their pay-per-views, because I want to see them really go up. Number 8, AEW Double or Nothing. This took place in Las Vegas, Nevada at the MGM Grand Arena, and Double or Nothing is considered by far AEW's version of WrestleMania, but I think that slowly might be moving towards All In or even Forbidden Door. But Double or Nothing was a really good show with a really good card. The opening contest of Will Ospreay defeating Roderick Strong for the International Championship was great. The Trio Championship match between the Bang Bang Gang and the Death Triangle was surprisingly very good. But then we had other bangers on this match on the card, like Moxley versus Takeshita in a world title eliminator match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. We had the Adam Copeland Malachi Black steel cage match for the TNT Championship. Of course, we had Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale in an absolute banger of a match for the TBS Championship. Swerve defeating Christian Cage, retaining the AEW World Title, and of course, Anarchy in the Arena. This was such a phenomenal card and phenomenal show. It's really strange to me that AEW topped themselves again. Number 7, NXT Stand and Deliver. This took place in Philly, at the Wells Fargo Center during WrestleMania weekend. Stand and Deliver is quote-unquote NXT's WrestleMania, and this was a very solid show. We had the shocking and surprisingly good tag team of Baron Corbin and Braun Baker retaining the NXT tag team titles over Axiom Nathan Frazier. We had a hoss fights with Obi Femi retaining his North American Championship over Dijak and Josh Briggs. Roxanne Perez again does what she does, defeats Lara Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. Ilya Dragunov in a banger, surprisingly banger of a match, defeating Tony D'Angelo of all people to retain the NXT Championship. Of course, the grudge match, the feud of all feuds, the blood feuds that NXT does so well. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. This was just a good show. Number 6, NXT Vengeance Day. This took place earlier in the year at the F&M Bank Arena in Clarksville, Tennessee. This has become an annual event, and this was very good. This was a fun show. Once again, we had Corbin and Braun Breaker, solid, defeating Mello and Trick. This was the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We had Dijak and Joe Gacy in a nice little fun match, but what really made this match something special was Ilya Dragunov defeating Trick Williams to retain the NXT Championship. This was such a fun card, and you can really flip-flop Vengeance Day and Stand and Deliver, but NXT are really putting on good shows. Number 5, AEW New Japan Forbidden Door 2024. Forbidden Door took place in Elmont, New York at the UBS Arena, and once again, it's a must-watch show. First, the 6-man tag match was very good, but what followed afterward, the Owen Hart finals match between Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi. It was a quarterfinals match. These two have been hinting at just beating the holy hell out of each other, and it was absolutely flawless because these two are just great at what they do. You had the women's world title match between Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. You had the grudge match between Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr., which was just good wrestling. You had the TNT title ladder match with Jack Perry winning and bringing gold to the Elite. You had Mercedes Moné defeating Stephanie Vaquera, retaining the TBS Championship, but also winning the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Of course, the main event between Swerve and Will Ospreay, which is already a match of the year contender. This was a fantastic show. Forbidden Door, by adding the Stardom talent, adding CMLL talent in conjunction with AEW New Japan, has become now a must-watch show. Number 4, WWE Backlash France, and this was just a good show. I hate that WWE is getting away with 5-card matches, but they got away with it. With this time, we had the Bloodline street fight with the Bloodline defeating Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. We had Bayley defeating Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, in my opinion, the match of the night for retaining her WWE Women's Championship. Damian Priest, Jey Uso put on a very, very solid affair for the world title. We had the women's tag team titles, and of course, Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. This was just good. All around a solid show, and I would like a little bit more from WWE, but this was the rare occasion that they just put on a small card with a fantastic top to bottom. Number 3, AEW Dynasty. This takes place at the Shell Fates Arena in St. Louis, Missouri. And this, ladies and gentlemen, where we get good, because our top 3 is absolutely amazing. The Dynasty starts it. We had the Continental Championship between Okada and Pac. First time seeing these two really go at it and just show you what wrestling is all about. Then we had the 6-man tag match with the House of Black defeating Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe, and that set up so many things down the line. We had the House Rules match with Willow Nightingale becoming the TBS champion. We had the International Championship match between Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, friends that know each other oh so well. The women's world title match between Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. One more time, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. Absolutely fantastic. It doesn't get any better than these two men. A grudge match, a match of respect, a match of who is better. This was absolutely fantastic. Then we had the tag team tournament ladder match with the Young Bucks becoming the champions, defeating FTR, and of course Swerve starting his legacy, defeating Samoa Joe to become the AEW World Champion. AEW Dynasty was such a fantastic card, a fantastic show. This was really something special, and those last 4 matches really catapulted. Number 2, WrestleMania 40 Sunday nights. This took place in Philly, at Lincoln Financial Field, and it's been getting to the point where it feels like Sunday tops Saturday, and Sunday absolutely did that. We had the Money to Bank cash-in with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, and just that whole beautiful thing, and that story that comes out of it is just great. LA Knight, AJ Styles, surprisingly Logan Paul getting another W in the US title match, but the 2 matches that really catapulted night 2 was Bayley versus Io for the Women's Championship, and in just a match that reminded you that Bayley and Io are 2 of the best on the planet, period. Like, go back and watch this match and you will truly forget just how good it is. And then of course, Bloodline Rules, Cody Rhodes defeating Roman Reigns to become the new WWE champion. There was so much to love about this match, and the only reason it's not a 10-star match because there's no Stone Cold. But WrestleMania Sunday night, WrestleMania 40, oh so good. And of course, number 1, AEW Revolution, Greensboro Coliseum, Greensboro, North Carolina, and this is here for one reason and one reason only: Sting's final match. But even that, the rest of the card was good. Christian Cage, Dan Garcia for the AEW TNT title, the Continental New Japan Strong Championship, just the Triple Crown, Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson finally showing some respect, some love for each other. The world title contendership 8-man scramble match, the international championship match between Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy, the tag team match, the women's title match, Will Ospreay versus Takeshita, and oh my God, was that match so good. Joe, Hangman, Swerve, Joe showing you like, yo, WWE, this is where you messed up. And of course, Sting's final match. Lord, so much was just beautiful about this. It was the perfect way to send a legend off, and you couldn't have asked for a better way. You couldn't have asked for a better partner in Darby Allin. You couldn't have asked for better opponents in the Young Bucks. Everything about this show was perfect, and it's going to be very, very hard to top this level. Let me know what you guys think. Should something be on this list? Should something be taken off? Should some, shows be flipped, reversed, moved up, moved down? You let me know. But that is the list. SummerSlam is in the books, and it was a solid show. But over the last 5 years, we've had some solid shows. We've also had some bad shows, but we also had some very good matches. And right here, right now, we have for you the 10 best SummerSlam matches of the last 5 years. And we start with number 10, Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam 2021. This was a shocking match that we didn't think would happen, as John Cena made one of his many returns, and he was just cooking. And all he said to Roman was, "All I need is 1, 2, 3." He was doing excellent on the mic, and Roman was holding his own there, calling John Cena missionary, because he just doesn't change. And this match was very, very fun. It was entertaining, and we know how all bloodline matches go. You'll see that with Roman Reigns, you pretty much have to wait for the interference, but the in-between parts were pretty solid. But when we got to the end, you really believed that John Cena was going to win. Ultimately, it did not happen, and the Tribal Chief retained. Number 9, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam 2023. Now, you're going to see this show featured a few more times, but what we have right here is Seth and Finn renewing a feud, renewing a rivalry that started many years ago at SummerSlam when Finn defeated Seth to become the first ever Universal Champion. And this right here, we had Seth and Finn really showing you just how good they are. And it's crazy to think that these two men here on this list would be kind of low, but this was good, and this was really the backbone and start of the true Judgment Day, leading up to everything that happened, 1 year later at SummerSlam 2024. But this was very good. Seth ultimately retained, and he went on to hold the World Heavyweight Championship all the way up until WrestleMania. Number 8, Logan Paul versus Ricochet, SummerSlam 2023 again. Look, Logan Paul's trash. He's not a good person. We all know that. But he's a really good professional wrestler, and he had a great sparring partner, and none other than Ricochet. Now, we knew Ricochet was always going to lose, but everything leading up to this match was good. These two had a viral moment at the Royal Rumble, which sparked this match, and these guys honestly might have stolen the show if it weren't for one other match on the card. These two put in all the high risk, they got all the high rewards, and ultimately this was kind of Logan Paul's coming out party. As much as the man is a piece of crap, he's good at this professional wrestling. 3. Number 7, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam 2019. Yeah, Seth and Brock fought a lot, just like how Brock and Roman fight a lot. But Seth was one of the few people that had Roman Reigns' number. He's one of the few people that has Brock Lesnar's number. And Seth right here was able to give Brock all that he could stand with the championship on the line. And these two, well, do what they do best. They are able to give you that physicality, to give you that story, to really put everything together and give you just an awesome and believable match. So good these two were, I wouldn't be surprised to see them do it all over again. Number 6, Drew McIntyre versus RKO versus Randy Orton, SummerSlam 2020. This took place, ladies and gentlemen, during the pandemic. Yeah, pandemic era wrestling was a thing. and Randy was on the roll. Drew was on a roll. This was part of building up Drew McIntyre as the face of the company, and Randy went back to his slimeball heel ways, trying to take the WWE Championship away from Drew McIntyre. But in the end, Randy did what they do. This was such a good match. Randy likes to tell a story in the ring, whereas Drew just uses physicality, and Randy was able to really bring everything forward here. Drew was no slouch himself, and we saw why at one point he was the chosen one. SummerSlam 2023, Drew McIntyre versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. This is number 5. Look, it's very hard. It's very, very hard to have Gunther being a bad match. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was not a bad match. Drew, Gunther, a combination of Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus. These 3 dudes just hit, and they hit hard. And Drew and Gunther, again, fighting over the Intercontinental Championship, elevating that championship more than it's been in many, many years. Just put on a slobber knocker of a match. This is one of my favorite matches on the card, and I just liked everything that happened here. The physicality, Gunther pulling out all the stops to put away someone like Drew McIntyre, whereas, Imperium tried to get involved and they failed. So Gunther had to do, everything in his power to take Drew out, and Drew just would not go down. But ultimately, Gunther retained here to carry on the lineage and become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. Number 4, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam 2022. Yep. This was a rematch from the previous when Becky just debuted and squashed Bianca, and it felt weird, but at the time it made sense afterwards, because we saw Becky really develop the big time Bex persona, driving away from the man persona and just being all about the championship. For this hard part, Bianca had to be brought down a notch or two. She was reaching Super Cena mode, and this was a way to reevaluate things. Build yourself back up, give yourself some character, develop something to make us want to see you defeat Becky, and this was it. Becky got hurt during this match, early in the match, and finished it. Bianca ultimately won, and we also remember this match for the debut and the return of Damage Control. Bayley returned, Io Sky returned, and Dakota Kai returned, forming Damage Control, and Becky swiftly turned face, backing up Bianca Belair. Number 3, Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam 2024. Yeah, this match is recent, and I don't like to do recency bias, but this was so good. Damian Priest was proving to himself, proving to others that he could do it alone, that he didn't need help. Gunther, for his part, was really toeing the line on how he was trying to get under Damian Priest's skin, and it came close to that R word that ends in ism. But for his part, Damian Priest held his own. He had a really good reign as World Heavyweight Champion. And remember what we said about the Finn and Seth match? Yeah, played a big part into this, and that's why it elevates this match more. The storytelling is ultimately what pushes this over the top, and we see Gunther, the winner of the King of the Ring, finally become the World Heavyweight Champion. Number 2, Edge versus Seth Rollins, SummerSlam 2021. What can I say? Edge was on his way out, and Seth Rollins was, doing his thing. Do you really remember this match? Go back and look at it. Go back and see what these 2 dudes did. Edge showed once again why he is a legend, why he was the legend. And Seth, for his part, showed that, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. These two dudes put on a very, very solid match that just built and built and built. The shocking part was that Edge won by submission. Think about that. Edge won by submission. How often is it that you see Seth Rollins tap out? These two dudes went blow for blow, hold for hold, spears, glam slams, pedigree, superplex. Like these, they pulled out all the stops, and it's such a match that is well worth watching. But Edge winning with that bulldog choke is really, really good stuff. And of course, number one, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. I know I got that name wrong. At SummerSlam 2022. I believe this was the Falls Count Anywhere match. And of course, it was nothing short. It was a last man standing match. I'm sorry. It was nothing short of a spectacle. Listen, Brock Lesnar is one of the few men that puts fear in Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is one of the few men that puts fear, well, kind of fear in Brock Lesnar. But they go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Brock and Roman destroyed the ring. They destroyed the ringside area. And Brock had no help. The Usos got involved. They did everything in the power to make sure Roman Reigns won. And they succeeded. Because Roman walked out champion. Roman walked out as the winner in this last man standing match. And like I said, this was nothing short of a spectacle. Brock came out in like a tractor and lifted up the ring, and Roman was just trying to kill Brock. And then at one point during the match, Austin Theory tried to cash. Remember, Austin Theory was the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and that caused enough of a distraction for Roman Reigns to take out Brock Lesnar, and then he gets buried under the announce table with chairs and everything, and he could not reach the 10 count. These two go hand in hand. These two are the yin and the yang of each other, and I expect one more fight between the two of these men. But Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns is the best match of SummerSlam in the last 5 years. Peace.